Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to all of our witnesses here today. Ms. Robinson, I want to follow up by trying to understand your answer to one of Senator Cruz's questions, and this is really a question, not a suggestion. Do I understand your position to be that there are two sexes, but there can be more than two genders?
I wouldn't even say two, and we've got Dr. Lopez here as well, but there's also the definition of intersex. I think that often in these conversations we're conflating sex and gender, and I do want to affirm here that trans women are women. That is their gender.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand. Do you make a distinction between sex and gender?
Yes, sir.
Okay, explain that. Do you think there are more than two sexes?
I believe that there's a definition for intersex as well that I want to acknowledge. But sex is assigned at birth.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm thoroughly confused. So you're born, I'm talking about biology, male, female, and what else?
I believe that intersex is also acknowledged, but again, I'm not a doctor here. What I can
say, what does intersex mean?
Is that there's a difference between sex and gender, and I think in these conversations we're conflating the two.
Well, but I want to start with sex. Okay, there's male, there's female. When a baby's born, before the baby has had time to even have a sense of self, there's male, female, and intersex. There's a third sex.
I believe that is true, but I would defer to Dr. Lopez as I'm not a physician.
Okay. And how many genders are there?
I think the gender is expansive, and the definitions are always growing. Today I can tell you, I talk to young people that talk about non-binary as...
More than five?
I think the gender is not a binary, is what I'm trying to say.
But are there more than five genders? I'm just trying to understand. Are there more than five genders?
Well, I think that there was a time where women wearing pants didn't feel like it was appropriate for their gender, and yet I'm wearing pants today. I think that there are ways that we express our gender that are expansive.
Are there more than five?
I wouldn't subject myself to naming how many genders there are, but what I can say is that gender is a reflection.
Number?
Excuse me?
There's an infinite number of genders?
I think depending on your culture, there are a lot of different genders that exist. And I can also say that it's a term that's evolving. If you look at young people today, they really don't lean into the binary of only woman and man. So I think that it's incumbent upon us not to legislate on this, but create space for them to explore what their identities are, what their gender identities are.
All right. Let's get back to athletics. I think I understand what you're saying. There are three sexes: male, female, and intersex.
I believe that to be true, but again, I'm not a physician.
And there are an infinite number of genders, because gender is a mental state.
Gender is about expression, and I think that there are a variety of ways that you can express your gender.
Okay, so there's infinite number. All right, let's go back to the biology. Male, female, boy, girl, okay? Biologically, do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician, and I can't speak to that.
What's your real world?
Today's Senate hearing took a sharp turn as Senator John Kennedy pressed witness Ms. Robinson on one of the most controversial topics in America today: the difference between sex and gender, and whether biological males have physical advantages in sports. What followed was a fiery back and forth that revealed just how divided this debate really is. Senator Kennedy began by seeking clarity. His question was simple but loaded. Are there two sexes, and can there be more than two genders? Ms. Robinson responded, carefully distinguishing between biological sex and gender identity. She acknowledged male, female, and intersex categories in biology, but insisted that gender is far more expansive, potentially infinite, shaped by culture and self-expression. Kennedy pressed harder. He emphasized the biological reality of male and female at birth and asked directly, how many genders are there? Robinson refused to put a number on it, saying gender is fluid and culturally influenced. Kennedy, visibly frustrated, tried to pin her down. So, there are infinite genders? Robinson affirmed that gender evolves over time and that younger generations increasingly reject the binary view. The conversation then shifted to athletics, a flashpoint in the national debate. Kennedy asked bluntly whether biological males have a physical advantage over biological females in sports. Robinson resisted giving a definitive answer, pointing out exceptions where women outperform men. Kennedy countered with examples like the NBA and Serena Williams losing to a male ranked outside the top 200. Kennedy stressed that biology confers undeniable advantages. Frustration grew as Kennedy warned Robinson that her refusal to concede basic biological facts undermined her credibility. He acknowledged his belief in protecting individual freedoms, non-discrimination, and privacy. But he drew a hard line at fairness in women's sports. Robinson pushed back, insisting that not all men are superior to all women, and that transgender women deserve the right to compete in alignment with their gender identity. She argued her own womanhood is not threatened by the recognition.
World experience.
It depends. I mean, there are some people who are born male that I'm faster than if I were to sprint against them, and some that I'm not. Some males that are taller than some women, and some that are shorter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example. Well, no, I don't think. How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger than that.
What's your experience, Ben? Male, female?
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
Okay. I just think, Ms. Robinson, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. I think you lose a lot of credibility when you don't concede that a biological male has physical advantages over a biological female. I mean, I just think that's a proven fact, and you really hurt your credibility. I understand you want the world to be a better place. I do too, and I don't think people ought to be discriminated against because of an immutable character.
And that raises the question for all of us: how should America balance biological realities with evolving views of gender identity, especially in sports, schools, and law? What do you think? Should fairness and competition come before inclusivity, or can both coexist? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the most pressing debates shaping America today.